Hey, you. Yeah, you. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast?
We're two busy moms and boss ladies. If we can do it, you can too. When we were trying to get this podcast off the ground, we had a lot of questions. How do we record an episode? How do we get our show into all the apps people like to listen to? How do we make money from a podcast?
The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what we're doing right now by reading this ad. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast and make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join us in the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor.
That's anchor.fm/start. We can't wait to hear your podcast. You're listening to Boss Ladies and Babies.
Business Blab with Megan. It's time to take off our mom hats and let our entrepreneurial side show. So grab a notebook and give yourself a bossy timeout. Welcome back to Business Blab with me, Megan. All right, everyone, I'm going to switch things up just a little bit this week because I have a story to share with you that made me so happy and truly just confirmed that I am showing up and being perceived how I want to be. This is really powerful, and I'm so excited to talk about this story. It has to do with Clubhouse, which, if you've been listening for a while, you know that I'm obsessed with Clubhouse. It is my favorite platform these days. It is so special, and I'm obsessed with it. And it's finally available for Android users. So if you've been waiting to get on Clubhouse and you need an invite, please let me know. I'd be happy to send you one. And if you're unsure about what Clubhouse is or how you use it, make sure you tune in next week to the mini episode Business Blab, because I will be talking all about how to create your own personal Clubhouse strategy. But back to today. Let's set the stage here. So as you know, Clubhouse is an audio-only platform, right? You have this tiny little photo avatar, you have your bio, and you have your voice for people to get to know who you are and start deciding if you're somebody that they want to interact with. So as I set up my profile, I just grabbed a photo that seemed really natural to me. It was one of my lifestyle branding photos. It was really in line with, who I am and my brand and my business identity. And I slapped it on there hoping that people would see it and maybe start to understand what I'm about and who I am, or at least as much as someone can from just a photo, right? And so if you haven't seen it on Clubhouse, it's also my Instagram profile picture, but it's a photo of me sitting on my favorite brown couch in my beautiful sunlit living room, and it's all neutral colors, which are what I'm all about. I love the soft neutral colors, and I'm sipping on a cup of coffee out of my favorite boss lady mug, just relaxing. That is so me, right? That's why I chose it. And so I've had this photo up for a while, and I've tried to switch it up a couple times, and there's some regular Clubhouse rooms that I go in, and they noticed that I had switched this picture, and they were commenting about how much they missed the photo that I usually have, and they said that that photo made them so happy, and they continued to list a bunch of reasons as to why I should have kept the old photo as my profile photo. And so naturally I switched it back, right? Because I loved to get that feedback from people. And so the next time I joined the room, the moderator was so glad to see that my photo was back the way it was. And each time I enter the room since, she comments on how much she loves this photo and how memorable this photo is and how I stand out because of this photo. And she uses words like, this photo is relatable. This photo is relaxing. This photo just makes me feel warm, and was describing how this photo made her feel with these specific words. And these words are words that I have chosen to be part of my brand and to be part of what my brand and identity is known for. But I never told her that. I have never told her one time any of these words or what my brand is meant to make people feel. She just felt it. And this is the power of branding words. And that's what we're talking about today. So I'm curious if you've actually heard of branding words. Kelsey Curtis, she's the creator of the connection method. I talk about her all the time. She's a huge inspiration to me, but she was the person who actually introduced me to the concept of branding words many, many years ago. And she's really a pro when it comes to teaching how to develop these words and make them a part of who you are. And I really felt like she's onto something with these branding words. They're amazing. And this idea of branding words is finally starting to catch on, but it's actually been around for a while. People are finally just starting to pick up on the power of these words. If you Google branding words, you'll find all sorts of information on what these specific individual words can do. And one of the favorite things that I found and that I like to share is from marketingbff.com. And they say your branding words are the descriptors you want people to use to endorse your business. These words are what define you. They define your work. They're what your clients get by working with you. They're words that you hope people are actually using to describe you and endorse you when you're not around. And Kelsey Curtis talks about these branding words all the time. And I listened to her and I practiced what she was teaching. And I started doing my own research and learning more and more about branding words, because these branding words will quickly become your lifeline. Every decision you make in your business and your life will start to revolve around these words. You will not commit, decide, or begin anything without making sure that it's in line with your branding words, aka your brand, first. These are basically your constant reminder of what your mission is, what your pillars for your brand are. They help keep you accountable and consistent and intentional. They help you make decisions for your business. They really help you stay in line with this perception that you're creating for your business and for your identity. These are the words you want other people to use to describe you when you're not around. And they're the impression that you're going to leave on other people. I am telling you, branding words are so powerful, and you can start taking control and planting these little branding word seeds today. Right now, you can make that decision. So here's what I want you to do. Start thinking about what words you actually want people to use to describe you. Start thinking about what words you think they may already be using to describe you. Make a list. Are these words matching up? How do you want people to describe you? Maybe even throw it out on your social media and ask your friends or followers to tell you a couple words that come to mind when they think of you. This can be a really, really eye-opening experience to actually hear people report back as to what they feel or think about you, and to see if that's in line with the things that you want them to. And once you start really paying attention, you'll notice certain words that keep repeating themselves, either in your messaging that you're writing out, in the feedback you're getting from other people, words that are just happening around you that you feel really drawn to. And you can start jotting all these words down and then narrow them down into the handful of words that you actually want your brand to be associated with. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, and this is a big task to create your own branding words, and it's something that you can't do overnight. There's a bit of science to developing your complete set of branding words, and it takes a lot of work and self-reflection and digging deep to narrow these down. That's a big part of what I teach my clients, and a huge part of creating your solid brand foundation. But you don't necessarily have to work with me to do that just yet. You can start now with the steps that we talked about earlier and start working on finding your own branding words. If you need a little bit of help, a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of feedback, feel free to shoot me a message and we can chat a little bit more. Maybe I can tell you what words I think of when I interact with you, and you could do the same for me if you'd like. We're all in this together, and tools like this and little resources like your branding words are such a big part of how we can really set up ourselves apart and stand out. And so I can't wait to see what words you come up with. That's all I have for you this week. And until next time, stay bossy.
Thank you for listening to Boss Ladies and Babies. If you like this episode, be sure to rate, review, and leave us some feedback.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and join the conversation in our Facebook group at Boss Ladies and Babies.
And until next time,
stay bossy.